I think another area where education is really important, and that's in the workplace and in night shift workers. Now, and I'm not sure if we discussed this last time, Lewis, but I think for night shift workers, yes, it would be naive of me and anybody else to say we're not going to, have 24/7 and we're not going to have night shift work. Our, frontline nursing staff, police, ambulance crews, all, are going to have night shift work. But what can we do about it? What can we do to mitigate? And I think there's a really important area of education. So, if you know that you're going to lose vigilance on the drive home after the night shift, and there was a study showing that 57% of junior doctors, these are anaesthetists, after the night shift, 57% had either had a crash or a near miss driving home. And so we need to sort of advise them to use these simple apps you can put on your phone to detect head nod or lateral movement of the car to wake yourself up. And of course, high-end cars have that kind of technology built in. But that's something very straightforward. We know that there's poor mental and physical health in our night shift workers. High rates of type 2 diabetes, obesity, depression. And so what we should be doing is having higher frequency health checks. And so you can catch these things before they become chronic and they can then be managed. Other things in terms of education, knowing that there's a greater risk of type 2 diabetes, obesity, metabolic abnormalities. What kind of food are we making available to our night shift workers? It's as bad as it could be. High fat, high sugar, vending machines full of Snickers bars and all the rest of it. And so what's bizarre when we have such a robust food industry in this country that nobody's taken on board, we can get nutritious, high protein, easy to digest snacks for our night shift workers. I'd love to see a Great British Bake Off or some other program on the telly whereby they try and develop something that would be highly nutritious, easy to digest, and lower the risk of some of these conditions. Going back to education, it's not simply the individual who's on the night shift, but it's the people he or she shares their lives with. So in some cases, the divorce rate can be 6 times higher for night shift workers compared to day shift workers doing the same job. And the whole family or the whole unit needs to be aware that this person hasn't turned into a monster. This is kind of a consequence of driving your biology outside of its normal range. And you've got to find ways of discussing this and not just getting really angry with your partner. So those are the sorts of things that I think that education could be incredibly powerful. And that's why I'm excited about the Great Parliamentary Sleep Survey, because I think it'll raise the profile even further and we can start to think about some ways of mitigating.